In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to make a website with WordPress. The site we're going to be making looks just like this. And as you can see, it's a nice looking website. And of course, you can change it so that it looks how you want it to look. The great thing about using WordPress and the theme that I've chosen specifically for you is that it's really easy to put web pages together. One of the problems with creating web pages is it's often quite difficult to get started. But the theme that I'm sharing with you today allows you to create pages from templates, either a block template or a complete page template, and then you can simply edit it and make it your own. When it comes to editing, that's really straightforward too. The whole interface is drag and drop. It's really intuitive, so if you've ever used something like Microsoft Word, you'll be just fine creating these pages. Now don't worry if you're a complete beginner and you've never made a website before or you've never used WordPress before. I'm here, I'm going to take you through it step by step. I'm going to hold your hand and I'm going to be showing you exactly what I do every step of the way. I'm also here to help you if you get stuck. So if that happens, just leave your question below in the comments and I'll do my best to answer as many as I possibly can. I also do a live stream every single week to help out the viewers of my channel. So you can join us on there and ask your questions and I'll answer them live. The website that we created today is really flexible, so you can use it for pretty much anything that you like. Maybe a business, maybe an organization, a club, a portfolio to show off your work. Anything you like, really. It's that flexible. So I think it's time we got started. Hello, it's Alex here from WP Eagle. I hope you're all well. Thanks for watching. If you're new to my channel, why not subscribe? It's really easy to do. All you got to do is click on the little red button down there that says subscribe, and if you click the bell, you'll be notified when I upload new videos. Now, I'm planning to create a load more videos around the website that we're creating today, showing you how to do some other cool stuff with it, so you're not going to want to miss those. So I suggest you do the subscribe thing right now. This video is on how to create a website with WordPress. I'm going to be showing you exactly what you need to do from start to finish, from setting up your website hosting through to installing WordPress, adding pages, adding a contact form, basically everything you need to get your website up and running. We're going to be using WordPress today to create our website, and I've chosen a theme to go with WordPress that's really easy to use. It's got a drag and drop interface, so you can easily just add elements to your pages, and it's got a whole load of built-in templates. So if you're struggling to get started with a design for your page, there's a whole load of inspiration that's already built in that you can quickly add to your page and then just customize it to make it your own. Now, I've tried to keep the cost down to an absolute minimum. WordPress is free. The theme we're going to be using is free, and a few other bits of software that we're going to be using today, they are also free. However, there is a couple of things that you need to pay for. The first thing you're going to need is a domain name. So a domain name is basically, the .com, the .co.uk, the .net, the .whatever. There's a whole load of domain name extensions available nowadays, and it's what people type in to access your website. You obviously can't have a website without one, so you are going to need to register one, and the cost for that is around $20 for the year. Now, if you've already got a domain name registered, that's great. I'm going to show you how you can use that in this video. The next thing you're going to need is your website hosting. That's basically a service that you pay for to a company, and they put your website online, they add it to one of their servers, and they make it available on the internet to your visitors. You are going to need hosting in order to get the website up and running, but luckily I've secured a great deal with one of my favorite hosting companies. I've got a voucher code that I'm going to give to you in the video that will get you one of the best prices online. So if you follow my recommendations and if you use my voucher code, the cost for your hosting is going to come in at just $65 for the year. So there are the costs. The total is just $85 for the year. So top of my head, that comes in at what, $7 a month? That's hardly anything for what is going to be a fantastic website. So we're almost ready to get on the computer and start creating our website. This video is quite long, so you might have to kind of watch it in chunks. And to make it easier to do that, I've added a whole load of chapter timings in the description, and that will allow you to quickly navigate through the video, skip forward, skip back, whatever you need to do. You'll also find everything that I mention in the video, again, in the description. You'll find links and voucher codes and whatever else I talk about. All the details will be down there too. Please be aware that any voucher code that you use or any link that you follow may be an affiliate link, which basically means I'm going to earn a very small commission if you use it. I really appreciate it if you do use them. It's a way that I kind of earn a living and allows me to create videos like this. So yeah, if you use any of my voucher codes or if you click on any of my links, thank you very much. Okay, I think that's enough looking at my face. Let's get on the computer and let's get this website set up. I wish you the best of luck. You're going to be fine. I'm here to help you. You're going to do great. Let's get started. So the first thing we're going to need is a domain name. Now a domain name is a .com or a .co.uk or a .net or a .whatever really. There's loads of different extensions to choose from. My preferred provider of domain names is GoDaddy. I've got all my domain names registered with them. I just find it easier to have them all in one place, and GoDaddy are one of the original domain registrars, and they offer domain names at a really good price, and it's really easy to manage them, and they offer some good customer service as well. The question that I get all the time is, why don't you just get your hosting with GoDaddy alongside your domain name? And I have tried that in the past, but I wasn't very impressed with the hosting service that GoDaddy offered. It was really slow and yeah, just not very good. So I use GoDaddy for my domains and I use HostGator for my hosting, and we'll be getting onto them in a moment. Now, if you've already got a domain name, maybe you registered one a little while ago and you've got it registered over with GoDaddy maybe, or with some other domain registration company, could be Namester, Namecheap, well, whatever, there's loads of them. Then you can skip forward to the next section, which is where we're going to be setting up our hosting. And I'll put a time up on the screen now so you can easily just jump forward and start setting up your hosting. For those of you that don't have a domain name just yet, let's get one registered. It's a really straightforward process. You just need to type in the domain name that you're after. So I could just type in, test domain, or whatever, something like that. I've actually already got the domain registered that I'm going to be using today. So this is purely just to show you how it all works. You click search domain, and there you go. It says the domain is available and I can buy it by simply clicking on the add to cart button. I can also add the .co.uk version of the domain if I want that too. Sometimes it's a good idea if you want to protect your brand and that kind of thing, to register a few different extensions. Once you've done that, you click continue to cart, and you've got an option here where you can add full domain privacy and protection. I tend to go for this because I don't like spam. Basically, when you register a domain name, your details will be available to the public on the internet. So yeah, you might want to keep that stuff hidden, and to do that you just need to pay GoDaddy $5.99 per domain per year. So yeah, I'd recommend you get that, but if money's tight, then don't worry about it. But be warned, you might get a few more extra spam emails. And that's all you're going to need from GoDaddy. You don't need any of this manage WordPress stuff. We're going to be doing all our WordPress with HostGator. You don't need the email address right now. Again, you get an email address that you can use with your HostGator hosting. So you just go to continue. And then you'll probably need to create an account if you haven't got one already. If you have, then you can sign in. And the default registration period is 2 years. If you want to save some money, again, you might want to drop that down to 1 year, but you tend to get a better price with the 2-year registration. It's only a little bit more, but it's entirely up to you. So yeah, fill in all this and sign up, create an account, put your payment details in, and then check out. And yeah, once you've done that, you're then ready to set up your hosting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to log into my GoDaddy account and make sure that I've got all my domain name ready to go. And yeah, let's go and set up our hosting. So next thing we're going to do is set up our website hosting. Hosting is basically where your website lives on the internet. You pay a hosting company a fee, and they give you access to their servers, and then you're able to set up your website. And your hosting company will make sure that it's online and available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Your hosting company is also there to help you with any kind of technical issues and that kind of thing. The company I'm going to be recommending today is HostGator. They're a company that I've used a lot. I pretty much put all of my affiliate sites on their hosting. I found the service to be really good. The performance is fast, and the support you get if you need it is responsive and easy to use. Another reason why I like HostGator is they are really affordable. When you're setting up a new website or starting a new project, you sometimes need to keep your costs to the bare minimal. So by going for a company like HostGator, you're able to keep your overheads low, but you're still not compromising on service. Let's just scroll down and take a look at a few of the other reasons why HostGator are worth going for. You can get started quickly and easily. So for example, installing WordPress or setting up an email address is really straightforward using the HostGator control panel. But of course, I'm going to show you exactly what you need to do anyway, so you won't have any problems there. If you've got an existing site, they'll transfer it for you, but we're not doing that today. And some of the other guarantees that they offer are the 24/7 365 support, which I've already mentioned, which is really good. And yeah, you just get in touch via a live chat, and you can very quickly get hold of a technical support assistant and ask your questions and get help that way. If for whatever reason you're not completely satisfied, they offer a 45-day money-back guarantee. So yeah, this is good if for whatever reason something doesn't work out, you can just simply get your money back and walk away. They also promise a 99.9% uptime, which is great. So that basically just means that your website is always going to be available and people are always going to be able to access it. So let's get signed up with HostGator. By the way, I've got a voucher code which I'm going to share with you very shortly, which will give you the best possible price on your hosting. So we're going to go for web hosting. You might have noticed that there's also WordPress hosting and cloud hosting, but generally the web hosting works just fine, and you can install WordPress on it, so you don't actually need the WordPress hosting. Standard web hosting is fine. So I'm going to give that a click. Now we get to choose our plan. If you're just going to be setting up one website on this hosting, then the Hatchling plan is fine. If you're thinking that maybe you might set up multiple websites with multiple domains, then the baby plan or the business plan could be for you. If you've got multiple domains for the one site, then you're going to probably need the baby plan as well. So if you did register a .com and a .co.uk, then you better choose the baby plan. A new feature with HostGator is that now all of the plans come with a free SSL certificate, which is really good because that means that people can access your site over a secure connection. It can help your search engine rankings, and yeah, it's just generally a good thing nowadays to make sure everything is nice and secure. Previously, you used to have to pay to get a certificate. So let's go for the Hatchling plan. I'm going to click Buy Now. And here is the HostGator order form. So the first step is around your domain name. We're not going to be registering a domain name with HostGator today. As I've already mentioned, I like to keep all my domains with GoDaddy. So hopefully you've registered a domain with GoDaddy, or you already had one registered with another provider. So let's click on the tab, I already own this domain. And then all you need to do is type in the domain name that you already own. And the domain name I'm going to be using today is one that I do already have registered over at GoDaddy, and it is makeawebsite.com. Now I'm just going to press Tab on my keyboard, and it's added that. That's fine. It's also going to suggest a few other domain names that I could possibly buy if I was interested, but I'm not going to buy any domain names from HostGator. I'm just going to leave it at that. So step 2 is choosing our hosting plan. So we've already chosen our package type, which is Hatchling, but you can change it at this point if you want to. The next option is the billing cycle. Now, when it comes to buying hosting, you get a much better price if you can go for 12 months or more. And if you can get up to 36 months, the price goes down quite considerably. you've probably registered a domain name for 12 months, so you might as well go for 12 months hosting as well. But if you can afford it, then I would recommend going for the 24 or 36 months. That way you're going to get the best possible price. I'm going to select 12 months, which is $5.95 a month. The next box is for your username, so just enter something that you're going to remember. Oh, that's too long. I'll just go with something like that. The next box is for your security PIN, so that is the PIN number you're going to need when you contact the customer support at HostGator. So again, enter something that you can remember. I'm not going to complete the entire form in this video, it's a bit boring. I'll fill it in a few moments. Step 3 is to enter your billing info, all standard stuff, your email address, name, company, if you've got one, and of course your credit card information, or you can use PayPal if you prefer. So fill in all this form. Step 4 is the additional services. So the first one is your free SSL certificate. You can't untick that because it's free. The next one is protect your site from hackers. We don't need that. I've got some videos on protecting your site on the channel. There's some plugins and things that you can use with WordPress to do that. So you don't need to pay the $19.99 a year to HostGator. You don't need the professional email service, that is a Google service. And you don't need the backup service because again, you can back up your site very easily just using WordPress. You don't need to pay the $23.95 to HostGator to do that. And the HostGator SEO tools, you don't need them either. So just leave all of these additional services unticked. Now, step 5 is very important. It's the coupon code. So you probably already got a coupon code in the box. I've got this one shared 3660. But as I mentioned earlier, I've got a really good coupon for you. If you enter the coupon EAGLE30, that's EAGLE30. And you'll see that at the moment we've got a discount of 36. If I click validate, we've now got a discount of 42. So with my coupon, you should get the best possible price. It is an affiliate coupon, so if you use it, I will earn a small commission. So thank you very much for using it. If you do use it, I really appreciate it. It really helps me out and allows me to create videos like this one. And that's it. We've completed the form. We can just review our order details here. We've got the free support. We've got the free account activation. We've got the money back guarantee of 45 days. And we've got our 12 months hosting for just $64.44. The final thing is just to tick this box here, which says you've read and agreed to HostGator's terms of service, the cancellation policy, and acknowledge receipt of the privacy policy. So I'm sure you're going to read those documents when you get a chance. So now you just need to click checkout now and your hosting account will be set up. It happens really quickly, generally in a minute or two, it'll be ready to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back through this form and I'm going to set up my hosting account. And yeah, I'll see you in a minute. So I'm all signed up with HostGator. Didn't take too long to fill out that form. And within a couple of minutes, I received this email. Hopefully you've received something very similar. This email is very important. It contains all the information about my new hosting package. We're going to need some of this information as we set stuff up. So yeah, do keep it safe as we are going to be referencing it. So now that we've got our hosting set up, the next step is to repoint our domain name. So basically let our domain registrar know about our new hosting package. So to do that, I'm going to be going back to GoDaddy and adjusting a couple of settings on my domain. Okay, so now we are going to repoint our domain name so that it is using our new hosting that we've just set up. So I'm back in GoDaddy in the domain section of my control panel after logging into GoDaddy. So you'll need to log into GoDaddy, or if you're with another domain registrar, just log into their control panel. The process should be pretty much the same. What we're looking to do is update our domain name servers. So log into your control panel with whoever that may be and look around for the domain name server settings or the DNS settings, that kind of thing. And yeah, the process should pretty much be the same. So with GoDaddy, to access those settings, you find the domain that we're going to be using, which for me is this one, makeawpwebsite.com. If I click on these three little dots, I've got this manage DNS link, so give that a click. And then here are our DNS records. If I scroll down, we've got our name servers settings. I'm going to click change. Then on this drop down, I'm going to go for custom. And then we've got two boxes. And then I'm going to go back to the email that I got from HostGator, which I've got just here. And then we can see that we've got our name servers here. I'm just going to copy it into my clipboard. And then paste it in to the first box like that. Then go back and get the second one. Copy into my clipboard. I'm going to use the keyboard shortcut, which on a Mac is Command-C. On a PC, it's Control-C. Then to paste, it's Command-V or Control-V on a PC. Like that. Of course, you can right-click as well, if that's easier for you. So, click Save. And that is all done. Basically, we've set our name servers. Now, there might be a slight delay while this information is kind of updated all around the world to all the different domain name servers and all that kind of stuff. So it can be a little bit of a delay. You'll know that it's all working if you go over to your website. So just pop it into your browser like that. Now at the moment I've got this GoDaddy screen coming up. You'll probably see a screen from your domain registrar. Once this screen switches to something else, it'll probably be a coming soon screen, or it might be a HostGator screen. Then you know that everything is working and everything is switched over, and you're then ready to start setting up your website. So I'm going to wait a few minutes, possibly a few hours. We'll see how long it takes for this screen to change, and then I can carry on and set up my WordPress website. Okay. So here we are, we've got our website coming soon screen. This means that the domain is now pointing at HostGator and everything is working correctly. It took a couple of hours for the change to actually take effect. So if yours isn't showing just yet, then just give it a little bit more time and I'm sure it'll happen real soon. So with that all done, we're now ready to move on and install WordPress. Okay, so now we're going to install WordPress onto our hosting. WordPress is what's going to be powering our website, does all of the heavy lifting for us. It's really easy to install. What we need to do is go into our HostGator control panel. So I'm going to go back to the email from HostGator, which I've got just here. And in this email, it's got all the information I need. So here's the link to the control panel. Then we've got the username, which is the username I entered when I signed up for HostGator. And then we've got the password here. So I'm just going to copy the password into my clipboard. Then click on this link. And then paste the password in, enter the username. What was it again? Oh yeah, make a WP web. Of course it was. Make a WP or web. Then click login. Okay, so we're in. There's a few pop-ups and things, you can just close them. Okay, so this is the HostGator control panel. In here, you can do pretty much anything you need to do with regards to your hosting, such as set up an email account, that kind of thing. If you wanted to do that, you'd come into here. But what we're going to do is install WordPress. Now, there's a link just here that says build a new WordPress site. So let's give that a click. And here is the installation setup wizard. So all we need to do is select the domain. We've only got the one right now. Leave the directory as it is, leave it blank, and then click next. Now we need to give a blog title. And when it says blog title, it kind of actually means website title. Back in the early days, WordPress was only really used for blogging, but now we use it for websites and e-commerce and all sorts of things. So this field should probably say website title. So yeah, give your website a name. Oh, that'll do nicely. Then you need to set an admin username. So this is the username you're going to be using to log into WordPress, which is a different login to your HostGator control panel. I'll just go for WP Eagle. I should be able to remember that. Then a first name. Let's go for WP Eagle. And then you need to enter your email address, and this is the email that's going to be used by the site to send you notifications and basically anything to do with the website. So make sure you enter your main email address there. You want to leave this box ticked, the one that says automatically create a new database, and then you need to tick the terms of service agreement. And then just click install. It takes a few moments to install WordPress. And there we go, we're all done. So we've got our installation details here. You want to make a note of this password. I'm going to copy it to my clipboard. You should get an email from HostGator with these details in, so don't worry too much about writing them down or whatever. But we're going to use them right now to log into WordPress and make sure that it's all working. So I'm going to click login. And here we go. This is the WordPress login screen. So I'm going to enter the username that I just set up, the admin username, which was WP Eagle. I'm just going to paste that password in and click login. And here we go, we're into the WordPress dashboard. Now my browser's asking if I want to save the password. I can do, save remember it. But I'm actually going to change it in a few moments to something that I can actually remember. So there's a few pop-ups that pop up as they do. Let's just dismiss them for now. What I'm going to do is remove some of the plugins that are automatically installed by HostGator so that we've got a nice clean WordPress installation and we're all on the same page. And then we'll install any plugins that we actually want. So to remove those plugins that we don't need, I'm going to go to Plugins, Installed Plugins. Scroll down. Then I'm going to go through and turn off the ones that I don't actually want. So Akismet is useful to keep, worth setting up later. It gets rid of comment spam, which is a bit of a problem with WordPress where you get these kind of spammy comments on your posts. And this filters them out, so that's worth keeping. Google Analytics for WordPress by Monster Insights is a really useful plugin actually because it allows you to connect Google Analytics to your site, which is a great way of tracking visitors, and I'll be doing that towards the end of this video. Hello Dolly, that's just a bit of fun, so we'll leave that turned off and we'll delete that as well. Let's click delete. Jetpack, I'm not going to be using that, so I'm going to deactivate. Once it's deactivated, I can delete. Some people like Jetpack. I've not really found it that useful. Mojo Marketplace, don't want that, so let's click deactivate and then again delete. OptinMonster API, we don't need that. The OptinMonster is really cool, and I've got a video coming out really soon on that, so be sure to check that out. Finally, we've got WP Forms Lite, which I'm going to deactivate. No, I don't want that. Click skip. Feedback thing. And delete. So we're just left with those two, which is fine. Going to be adding a Forms plugin later to do Forms, one that's a bit better than that. So there we go. Let's just have a look at the front of the site. So to do that, just went up top there, click Visit Site. And here we go. This is our WordPress website, kind of the vanilla install, fresh out of the box, as it were. And the next step is to install a theme and get it looking how we want it. So the final thing I'll show you in this part of the video is just how to change your password if you want to do that so that it's something a little bit more memorable. Come up to the top right where your kind of username is, click Edit My Profile, scroll down, then we've got Account Management. We've got the new password section here. We can click Generate Password. If you don't fancy that one, you can type your own in. Just going to hide it so you guys can't see it. It thinks it's a weak password. Maybe it is a little bit, but never mind. I'm going to click Confirm Use of Weak Password, just to say that I'm okay with that. Then click Update Profile. I'll update it in my browser too. Yeah, so there we go. That's WordPress installed. It's ready to be developed now into the website that we need. So let's move on to the next part of the video. So now we're going to install our WordPress theme. The theme is what gives our website its look and feel. It's all the design features. It's what we use to add the content. And yeah, the theme we're going to be using today is this one. It's called Rife. Now there's a pro version and a free version. The pro version you obviously have to pay for. The free version is free, and it's the free version that we're going to be using today. And of course, you can always upgrade to the Pro version in the future if you need some extra features and functionality. It's got a real nice look and feel to it. It uses a really nice page builder, so it's kind of all drag and drop, and you can very quickly create some really impressive looking pages. So to get hold of the theme, we just need to click on this big button here, download Rife for free. Into my downloads folder, that's fine. And now we're ready to install it. So to do that, I'm going to go back to the website. I'm going to go to the dashboard. I'm still logged in from before. Then I'm going to go to Appearance and Themes. Then click on the Add New button at the top. Then Upload Theme. And then click Choose File to browse my computer. Go to my Downloads folder. There it is. Click Open. And then just click Install to upload it and install it. And it says the theme has been installed successfully. Let's click Activate to turn it on. There we go. It's all done and working. So if we go and look at the site now, we should see that it's changed somewhat. And there it is. Still not a lot going on, but we can see that the theme's working and the look and feel has changed completely. So let's just go back into the dashboard. Now there's a couple of plugins that we need to install. This one here, Apollo 13 Framework Extensions. It recommends that we install that, so I think we should do that. Let's click Begin Install, and then click Install. And that's done. Let's just return to the dashboard. So there's another plugin I just want to install just to finish off the installation of the theme, and that plugin is called Elementor. Elementor. That sounds better, I think. And basically that's our drag and drop page builder. It makes it really easy to edit all our content. So we're going to go into plugins and then add new. Over here in the keyword box, I'm going to type in Elementor like that. It's the first one that comes up. Click Install now. And then activate. So that's all done. Themes installed. We're now ready to start adding some of our pages and posts and our content in general. So probably the best place to start is with the home page. So that's what we'll do in the next part of this video. Hello, it's Alex here. I've had to add this at the last minute to the video. Basically, at the end of this video, there is a part where we add an SSL certificate, which basically makes the site nice and secure. And in hindsight, it's probably better to do that at this point rather than after you've created the whole site. So I'm going to put a time up now, probably around there. If you skip forward to that point and follow those instructions on how to set up your SSL, and then come back to this point and kind of carry on where you left off, things will be better. Trust me on that. So yeah, skip forward now to that point, get your SSL set up, and then come back here. It'll just make it a bit easier for you in the long run. Sorry about that, but that's sometimes how it works when you're creating videos that are this long. Anyway, where were we? So let's get our home page set up. I think it's a good place to start with a website, and then we can add some other pages after we've done that. So by default, the site is just showing the blog. So this is the kind of default post that you get with WordPress. But for this site, I just want to have kind of a static homepage with my own bits and bobs on it. So let's do that. But before we do that, there's just one setting we need to update, and that is the permalink setting, which basically determines the sort of URLs that we're going to be generating, basically the addresses of the pages. If we go into settings and then permalinks, it's currently set to this, and it's a bit messy personally. I don't like this index.php thing or any of that, so I'm just going to empty this box, highlight it all, press delete, and then I'm going to add some of these tags. First one is category, and then the next one is post name. And that's it. That's the structure that I want to use. So let's click Save Changes. Now we're ready to start adding some pages. So let's add a home page. I'm going to go to New, and then Page. Let's call it Home. And then in the template down here, I'm going to select Elementor full width because I want the home page not to have a sidebar or any of that kind of stuff. Just want a nice full width page. So that's published. Let's click Edit with Elementor to start creating the page. Now with this theme and with Elementor, it's really easy to get pages up and running really quickly because there's a whole load of templates that you can use. They're templates for complete pages or just bits of pages, and you can just put them together and edit them and have pages created really quickly. So let's have a look at some of these templates. If we click on this folder, sort of grey icon, we've got all these here. Some of them are pro, so you have to upgrade Elementor to the pro version in order to use them, but there's tons of really good free ones too. So you're just going to want to scroll through here and decide which one is going to be suitable for your website. You can see they're all really nice, and there is a load available for free, so I'm sure you'll be able to find something that you like. I quite like this one because it's just a demo website I'm making today. I mean, it's not for any specific purpose apart from to show you guys how to make it. But this one is nice and clean. If you click on the little magnifying glass, we can take a closer look. It's got nice testimonials and bits to have text and nice icons, and I don't know, it just looks nice. So I think we'll go for it. So to insert, we just click this insert button up the top. There we go. Come down here, click update, and let's have a look at what it looks like as it is without changing anything, and then we'll come back in and we can, as you can see, just kind of click on whatever we want to change. So an easy way to do that is just to pop open another tab and just type in make a website or whatever your URL is. And then what we need to do is actually set it as the home page. I mean, we can just click up here because it's added it to the menu. But of course, we want it to show every time people visit the actual home page. So to do that, let's go to the dashboard, go to settings, and then reading. And then we've got this first option that says your home page displays. Click on the radio box to select a static page, and then under here, select the page you just created. Mine's called Home. Save changes. And now when we look at the site, we've already got a fantastic home page up and running that we can now go through and start editing. So yeah, let's do that now. I'll just show you how you can play around with these elements and make them your own. So to edit any page, when you're looking at it from the front like this, you can simply just click Edit with Elementor, and it will take you back to the Elementor editing page, funnily enough, like this, which happens to be the same one I've got here. So let's close one of these tabs. And it really is just drag and drop. You can just click and change the text, just type some more. Goes on to 2 lines if it's too big. So we've got some options over here. We can change the tag, so it's a H2 tag, which is a good thing. So they're to do with headings, very useful for SEO to mark up important stuff as headings. Can of course change the alignment, left, center, right. These controls are very similar to any sort of word processor that you may have used before. You can add a link if you like, so I could just link through to the fantastic website wpeagle.com. You can adjust the options there. You can make it open a new window or add a no follow if you like. Click update every time you make a change. In each element, you've also got a load of other options. So come across here, you've got style, so you can adjust the color of the text to whatever you like. I think white probably does look best on this particular background. You've got your typography, which is all around the different fonts. Change them to whatever you like. You've got sizes, big, small, whatever you like. You can change the weight, so make it bold. It's got some text transform going on, so it's making it all uppercase, but you could have it all lowercase, or you could have it with capital letters. Whatever you like. I think uppercase is fine. Make it italic or oblique, whatever that is. You've got some decorations, so usual stuff that you get in any word processor, and just the line height and even the letter spacing. So you really have got complete control over all of your elements. can add a shadow here as well if we like. So, you know, that looks quite nice with a shadow. I think we'll use that. In advance, you've got a few other things that you might want to adjust. So the margin, so just adds extra space around it, and padding, again, very similar to margin. Just create some extra space. A lot of this stuff you're probably not going to need to mess around with too much because everything kind of lays out quite nicely as it comes. You've got a background here, so this is the background just for this text element. I'll show you how to change this background in just one moment. You can add a border, a nice solid border if you like, and add a color like that. I don't think we need a border, but you know, you get the idea. And here are your responsive settings. So if you wanted to hide this element, for example, on a tablet or a mobile, you can just, you know, adjust these toggles. And then there's the custom CSS, which we don't need to go in right now. So this text, all this text in this line is all sitting on top of a section, and it's the section that's got this lovely image of someone on their phone, laptop, you know, making a website out there. They've got a load of code on the screen, which you don't really need to worry about code anymore when you're making websites, as you can see. But say you wanted to change this image or change any of these kind of section parts, just simply right click, which is the really cool thing about Elementor, is it supports right click, which is quite unusual actually when you're working in a browser. So we can right click and select edit section, and then we've got all the settings to do with this section. So the height and position, whether it's got a HTML tag, probably not going to need to worry about that. If we scroll up and go into style, you'll find that there is the image. So if, for example, I wanted to change that, I can just click delete, then click plus, and then upload a file from my computer. And I'd say this picture of a dog, for example. Although it is a bit big, actually, that image. You really want to make sure your images aren't too big. You know, over a meg is big, because it's going to slow down your site. But yeah, let's go for it for now, just for this example. And there we go. We've got a lovely picture of a doggy. I think I'm going to switch back though to the laptop. I think that's a bit more suitable. These are all the settings to do with the image, whether you want it in the center and we want to repeat it. So if you've got a smaller image, you might want to just repeat it so that it fills the entire space. Next is the background overlay. So that is this color, this gray color. You know, so we can adjust that to something else. You maybe want to go blue. That's quite nice, isn't it? Or green. Very nice. So, you know, that's pretty cool. The opacity, is that how you say it? Opacity. I'm really good with English. You can adjust that. Basically, that's the transparency of that overlay. So, you know, how blue or whatever color you want it. Just adjust the slider. Down here, we've got a border. So if you wanted to add a border around this section, here is a shape divider, which I think if we add it to the bottom, you can add like these cool effects. You're at the top or bottom. Ooh, yeah. Where's the zigzag? That's not working. Don't know what's that. Clouds is nice. Tilt. Ooh, yeah. And you can set a color, height, and all the rest of it. And then we've got some more typography settings, although generally you're probably going to want to set those on the individual text elements. So let's click update. I think it's good practice to, you know, update as you go along. There is an advanced bit. Again, it's very similar to the advanced settings that we saw on the text element, so margins and padding and all that kind of stuff. So you just simply work through the page and, you know, add and remove elements as you see fit. So this one is like a image carousel, great for logos. This one is a testimonial element, so good for testimonials, which is, you know, handy. Here is this is just a section, and it's got two columns. So we've got an image element there, and we've got a divider, and then we've got a title, then we've got some text. Now, if you wanted to add some extra elements, it's very easy. You simply come up here, click on this little square with the smaller squares, and then you've got all your elements here. So we've got, you know, columns, heading, so that's what that is. So let me just show you. I'll remove this. Right click, delete, and then say I wanted to add a heading, you just simply, you know, drag it over like that, and, you know, easy to create Amazing sites. I don't know what I'm talking about, but you get the idea. You know, I might want to make that a bit bigger. To be fair, I probably want it to match these. So I think that's a good opportunity for me to show you how to do a duplication. You just simply right-click, duplicate, and then get hold of it like that. Pop it up there. I can remove that one. So yeah, in here there are loads of different things. You know, if you wanted to add a video, just drag it over and then add the link to the video. Got the dividers, the spacers. You can add a map. You can add some icons. And down here we've got image boxes and icon boxes and lists and counters, testimonials we've already seen, social icons, toggles. You can add a SoundCloud, alert, a menu anchor. So that's for when you want people to scroll down a page by clicking on links. There's tons of stuff. But generally, you're just going to want to add some of the existing templates and then just change them as you need to. So I think that's all done. Let's click update. Let's take a look at the website. And then what we'll do is we'll add a couple of other pages. I think that'd be good, standard stuff, about us, contact us. I'll show you how to add a form. And then I'll show you how to adjust the logo and that kind of thing. I mean, this video is not going to be too long, hopefully. And as you can see, it's really quick and easy. And once you've got this set up, I mean, you just got to play around and make the website your own. So I think that's the end of this section in terms of setting up the home page. Let's move on to the next one, where I will show you how to set up some of those internal pages. So in this part of the video, I'm going to add a few more pages. So I'm going to add an About Us page. I'm going to add a FAQ, or Frequently Asked Questions page. And I'm going to add a Contact Us page. Now, of course, you're going to create whichever pages you need. But I thought, those three would be a good way to show you a few of the different elements that you can add. And then that should inspire you to be able to create whatever pages you need. So let's start with the About Us. So to create a new page, simply come up top here and go New Page. And then let's give it a name. Let's call it About Us. And again, I'm going to go for the Elementor full width template. So that's created. Let's click Edit with Elementor. There we go. We're now ready to add some stuff to our page. So again, let's click on the little grey icon. I think it's a good idea to use these templates to get things going, because when you're looking at a blank page, it's very hard to get inspiration in terms of what elements you need to add. So these give you a great starting point. You can do a quick search by just typing stuff in. So if I type in About, it will give us some pages that we can possibly use. So there's a nice About Us there. There. That's got a nice chart on it. Quite a few pro ones. Of course, you can just build your own made up of some blocks. So come into blocks, do a search for About, and you've got different blocks that you can put together to create your About Us page if you want. But I think we'll go for a full page template to start with. I quite like this one, so let's go for that. It's got a video, and yeah, it just looks cool. So let's click Insert. So there we go, and of course you just go through and edit these elements as you see fit. Let's click Update. You can take a look at the page by just clicking on this eyeball down here. There we go, looks good. So next page is an FAQ, and for this one, again, we could either use a page template or we'll make it up with the individual blocks. I think I'll just use some individual blocks to show you how that could work. So again, New Page. Call it FAQ. What I'll do is I'll leave it on the default template so that we can see exactly what that looks like, rather than using the Elementor full width. Let's click Edit with Elementor. So the default page template looks like this. You get this massive sort of title at the top, which might not be what you want, which is why I tend to go for the Elementor full width template. So we can switch to that down here by clicking on the cog. So I think I'm going to do that right now. think it's nice just to have complete control and you know, add whatever elements you like. So let's start building this FAQ page. I've had a look and there isn't actually any frequently asked question type page templates, so we can go into blocks and I think we'll find something in here that we can use. Aha, here we go. So you can decide what sort of FAQ you like. You can have one with like these accordions, which is quite cool, or 2-column setup like that. Then we'll go for a bit of an accordion thing. Click insert, and there we go. And of course you could change these as you like. That was nice and simple. Let's click update. And then we'll click preview. Let's close a few of these tabs. And there we go. So the final page I'm going to create in this section of the video is the contact us. So let's go up to new then page. Let's call it contact us. And again, we'll go for the Elementor full width. Click publish. Then edit with Elementor. Get rid of that tab. In here again, just type in contact. So here we go. We've got some nice looking pages here. Most of them are pro, but not to worry, we can easily create our own. Let's have a look in blocks. I think we'll just create one with the blocks. That's nice and simple. I'm going to show you how to add a form as well in a moment, so yeah, we'll just go for that. It's got some nice social icons. I'm going to change that. For any inquiries, please use the form below. Get rid of that. Let's click update. What we need to do is install a form plugin in order to get the form up and running. Makes sense. To do that, we need to go back to dashboard. Quick way to get back to dashboard is to click on this little burger menu and click exit to dashboard. Okay, let's go to plugins and then add new so that we can install the form plugin. One of my favorite form plugins right now is called Happy Forms. So let's type that in. It's this one, the first one that comes up. Let's click install. Then activate. It's asking for an email address, but you don't need to do that. You can just click continue. And there we go. We've got this sample contact form, which, you know, that's fine. We can just edit this. Let's click edit. Here's our form here. And you can adjust any of these fields just by either coming over here and popping them out like that. So for example, I don't want this age field, I'll just click delete down here. That's gone. And then if you want to add any other fields, you know, maybe you want to add an email, so you know, collect people's emails, just click on it and then it'll add it here and you can just drag it to where you like it. Like that. They've got some settings. I've got a full video on how this plugin works on the channel. I only uploaded it a few weeks ago, so do check that out if you want to learn a bit more about this form plugin, but that's fine for a basic form. Let's click next. And here you can set your different messages. So this is the confirmation message that people will see when they complete your form. This is the email address that the form will go to, which is the same as the email address you entered when you set up WordPress. And these are all like the email subjects and stuff that you get and that they get. So, you know, just adjust that as you need. Then you've got a whole load of other stuff that you can change as you need to. But that's all fine. I'm going to click Save Form. There is one setting I want to change in here before I save the form. That is the form title. I don't want this. It's called Sample Contact Form. I probably should have given it a better name, but hey, that's fine. I want to actually hide that. And that's it. Let's click Save Form. Then we can go and add it to our Contact Us page. So it says the form saved. It gives you some ideas on how you could add it. But luckily we can use Elementor just to add it as any other element. So let's go back to the site and back to the Contact Us page. There it is. I'm going to show you how to rearrange those links across the top in a moment. So here's our short and sweet contact page. Let's click Edit with Elementor. So on this page, by the way, you are going to want to probably update all these social icons. Very easy again, you know, just come in here, click, add your links to your social media. Easy peasy. Doesn't make any sense, that bit. I'm going to just adjust that. Yeah, that'll do. So to add the form, let's click on the little square thing again. You want to scroll right down, and then under this section here, or in this section where it says WordPress, give that a click. You've got all these WordPress elements which are pretty cool. You know, if you want to add a WordPress image or categories, recent comments, anything you like really. But right at the bottom we've got Happy Forms, which is the form plugin that we just installed and set up a form with. Just drag that over. Let's click Apply. Now it's not showing the form straight away. I think this might just be a little bug. It basically wants a title. So if I just start typing, the form that we created now shows I don't actually want a title, so now I can take it out and the form should still be there. I don't know what that's all about, but hey, just a little bug. You get little bugs in technology. It's one of those things. So there we go. There's our Contact Us form. Let's have a look at it. There it is. It's all looking really nice. Let's see if it works. This is a test. And submit. There's our message. Looks like it's working fine. Perfect. So there's our internal pages. Of course, you'll create whatever pages you need. And I'll be doing more videos as we go forward using Elementor to create different sorts of pages that you might need, maybe albums, image galleries. That's what I mean when I say album. Services pages, that kind of thing. So yeah, I'll be doing some more videos on that. What we need to do now is we need to rearrange this menu because I want to get rid of this sample page and I want to, put them in the right order. So to do anything with menus, all you got to do is come up to the top here where your website name is and go to menus. We haven't got any menus set up right now, so all it's doing is just adding the pages as we create them in whatever order it likes. So let's create a menu. Let's call it main menu and click create menu. And then down here we've got all the different elements that we can add. So they're the pages. If we had some posts, we could add them. We only got the one, Hello World. I'm showing you how to add the blog in a few moments. Just want to add a link to maybe another site. And then you've got categories here, which are the categories for your blog posts. But we're going to add some pages. I want to add the home, the about us, the FAQ, and the contact us. Let's click add to menu. And this is drag and drop as well, so you can just move the order of stuff. So this is the first one that will show, which will be on the far left of the menu, and then this is the last one, which will be on the right. I think a logical order would be something like this. And in fact, you can have like a sub-menu sort of structure. So if I wanted the FAQ to sit below about us, and just drag it slightly over to the right, you see there's a little bit of space there. Let's save the menu. Oh, actually, there was one last thing we need to do. We need to tick that box that says site navigation. Let's save again. There we go. Let's have a look at the site. There we go. And you see there's our kind of sub menu with the FAQ. So that's looking good. I'm just going to put the FAQ back to the top because the menu looks a little bit sparse with it there. Like that. And save. So that's our pages all done and the menu ordered and set up as we like it. As you can see, the site is already looking really nice. We've got our About Us page. We've got our FAQ page. We've got our Contact Us page. It's all looking really good. There's the form. It's all good. So in the next section, we're going to add our blog page. You might call it news, you can call it whatever you like, but it's basically the place where you can put your posts. So posts are different to pages because they have a date. They're normally kind of articles, news, that sort of stuff, whereas pages are more static. They're about your services, your FAQ, your about us, the stuff that we've just done. So let's create a blog page in the next section. So let's get our blog page up and running. So I'm just going to go up here again, new, and then page. I'm going to call it blog. You can call it whatever you like. And click publish. Then to make it the blog page, I'm going to come down here and go to settings and then reading. And this section here that says post page, I'm going to choose the page that I just created. Then save changes. I'm also going to add it to the menu. The way you access the menus when you're in the dashboard is under appearance and menus. There it is. Give it a tick, click add to menu, drag it where you like it. I think that'll be nice. Click save menu. Let's go and take a look. And click on blog. So here it's got the kind of default layout and everything, which is fine. What we'll do is we'll add a nice image here, which will make it look better. I'll show you all the blog settings in a second. Here is a post. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a couple more posts to fill it out so that we get an idea of exactly how it looks. Let's do that now. So to add a blog post, you come up to here and go new post. This is a blog post. And you put your text in here. Let me just find some Latin we can put in there. There we go, some nice lorem ipsum. Copy that. Paste that in, there we go. Down here you can add some categories. It's a good thing to do with blog posts to organize them nice and neatly. So you might have like an articles category or something more specific. You can use Elementor if you want, so you've got your template options here again if you want to go for Elementor full width, that kind of thing. I'm going to leave it as it is for now. Let's set a featured image. Let me see what I've got on my computer. Let's go for the dog again. So the featured image is like the main image of the blog post. There we go, let's publish and take a look. There's our post. Let's go back to the blog page and have a look. There it is with the dog. Now the featured image isn't actually showing on here, is it? So let me just have a look at the settings of this post. Down here we've got featured media. Featured image parallax. I'm sure it should be showing actually. Let's just check all the settings. That's all fine. Title bar. That looks all good. So let me just update again. View the post. Well, that's changed the heading. In fact, I think that's better, isn't it? Doesn't matter about the featured image because we can just add it where we like anyway. So if we go back in, if you wanted to add it at the top, you just go add media, find your dog picture, insert into post. It looks a bit small actually. Let's see if we can make it bigger. Click the little pencil. I'm going to go size, full size. There we go. That looks better. Let's take a look. There we go. So that's a blog post. Let me just add one more for effect. So new post. Let's add the Latin again. If we scroll down to make the title the same, go down here and it was under title bar. And it was the classic to side rather than the centered, which I think is the big one. Yeah, and that's all good. We set the featured image down here. Let's find another interesting image. They're probably going to be dog related because there's some images that I've got to hand from the other website I made just the other week. Yeah, perfect. Again, we can add it in here. Add media. size is full size. Insert into post. Let's add it to the articles category. There we go. Let's take a look. Looks good. I think that title looks much better for blog posts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set that as the default. We'll do that in a second as we look at the blog settings. So here is the blog page. The images are slightly different sizes, which is a bit of an issue. That one's not quite right, is it? Let's just have a look at the different sizes that we've got. So yeah, when you're using featured images, you're probably going to want to make sure that they are similar sizes. See, that one's 1254 by 686, and that one is 1254 by 686. There's obviously something else going on. I think it was this parallax that I turned on earlier. Let's turn that off. But it is still good practice to make sure that your images are of similar size. There we go. Yeah, it was that parallax thing that was going on. So this hello world is the kind of example blog post that you get when you install WordPress. We can delete it by just clicking edit post even, and then move to trash. Let's take a look at those blog settings anyway. So if we go into appearance and customize, in here you'll find loads of different settings all around your website. It's a good place to come and take a look. So you've got all your general settings, of which there are many. Header settings, blog settings, shop settings. So you can set this site up as a shop if you'd like. Just use WooCommerce. But we're going to adjust the blog. So in blog settings, you've got your options here. I'm just going to switch to the blog. And by the way, it's kind of gone responsive because the screen size isn't that big. So you get this little menu, burger menu, which is what people see on an iPad or on a small screen. So let's switch to the blog so we can see in real time the changes that we're making. So you can add a custom background for all the blog stuff if you want. There's this option here to hide content under header. I'm just going to turn it off. Or you can hide content if you want. I'm not sure quite why you'd want to do that. It doesn't seem to have done much actually. Let's just leave it as it is. You can add a sidebar if you want to. I don't want to. Don't really want sidebars on this site. You can adjust the bricks column. You can turn on lazy load. I think lazy load is already on. That's when the page loads as people scroll down, or even by clicking a button. You can adjust that option there. You can decide where you want to display the post media, which I do. You can decide whether you want to display the video, if you've got video posts or not. Decide which date you want basically on the post meta, so whether it was when it was published or when it was last updated. Decide whether you want the authors, so if I turn this stuff on, it's going to add the author there, you see. You can show comments, all that kind of stuff. So that's pretty cool. This is for the title bar. So this is this big thing here. Again, we can switch it to the side. We can add a background image. Let's do that. There's that image. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Not quite big enough. Let's see what I've got in the dog section again. By the way, I like to get all of my images from iStock Photo. So yeah, do check them out. I'll put links in the description. What we got in here? Doggy jumping, that'll be fine. Quite sure why that's not appeared at the top. You might need to save. Is it the parallax that's broken it? No. That's because we've got this overlay color. I'll take that out, or adjust the opacity. There we go. Looks good. Although this site obviously has nothing to do with dogs, but hey, you get the idea. And you can adjust the space. I mean, it's quite high, isn't it? And you might want to make it a bit smaller. Oh, that's looking good. So let's go back. Here are your options for your single posts. So again, very similar stuff. I mean, it is set to display post media, but it doesn't appear to be doing so. I'm not quite sure why. As I said, you can just add it manually anyway. So these are all very similar settings to what we've just seen, but they apply to actually when you're looking at a particular post. Like if I just click through, get the ideas. So, you know, like things like categories, you can enable that. Adds it up the top there. And here's the single post title bar. So if I want all of them to be classic to the side, just click on that like that. This one's already set because you can set it at the article level as well. You can set an image, you can adjust the color. That's bright, like that. Or add a color if you like. Or sorry, add an image if you like. And again, you can adjust the height and all that stuff. So let's click publish. Let's come out of here. We can close these tabs as well. Let's keep the place tidy. Let's have a look at our website. And there's the homepage. There's the blog with our blog posts. So I think that's the blog all done. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to take a look at some of those theme settings in the customize section, and we can add a different logo and have a look at some of those other settings to do with, you know, colors and fonts and all that good stuff. Okay, so now we're going to go through some of the theme settings. We're going to add a logo. I'm just going to use the WP Eagle logo for now. You'll of course add your own logo. So to access all these settings, we need to go into customize. And there's a lot of settings in here that you can play around with. So let's just go through them and adjust them as we need to. So we've got general settings. So in here, we can set what you want on the front page. Probably going to be a page, which is what we're running at the moment. Next, you've got the general layout. So this is your background image, your background color of all the pages. We've got it set to white. Change the layout type if you've got Rive Pro. You can't do it in the free version. And you can adjust your mouse cursor settings there. Then you've got your page preloader, which is these animations. You've got your theme header. We want to use the theme header. You've got your footer, which we want to use. If you want to adjust this text here, you just scroll down and just type in whatever you'd like. So, website by WP Eagle. There's this text here, not this text. My mistake. There we go. You can make a link if you want. You need to add a little bit of HTML though to do that. So you do a little bracket and then an A, then a href, then an equals and a speech mark. Then you type in the web address like that. And it's closing speech mark and then one of them brackets. And then at the end of it here, you do a little thing like that, just simple as that. And then we've got a link. You can set a privacy policy if you want. So to show a link to that, click enable, and then you need to click here and set your privacy policy page once you've created it. Social icons, you need to add them in the social settings, but they're turned on by default. And you've got colors and all the other kind of stuff that you might like. In the footer, you can actually add some widgets. So you got the hidden sidebar. So if you've got widgets in it, it'll show. I'm not going to go into that in too much detail. You've got your font settings. So whatever font you want to use across the site, you can adjust it in here, as well as the sizing and spacing and all that good stuff. Got different styles of headings. So that's the bit that appears at the top of the page. You know, at the moment it's black, but you can change all that in here. Here's your content styles, so your font colors and your font sizes. Here's the social settings, so you just come down here, find your relevant things. So YouTube, it might be what is my channel address? Something like that. And then that will add those social icons at the bottom that we mentioned here. There we go, it's added it over there. They may display in other places around the site as well. You've got your lightbox settings, so I'd use that. That's pretty cool for images. You've got your to top button, which is this little round thing here. You can adjust that, change the colors, the icon. And then here's your button settings. So colors of buttons, like, I guess it's that one, is it? Maybe not that button, but your buttons in general, you can change the colors and the weights and that kind of stuff. That's general settings. Next, we've got the header settings. So this is where we can set our logo and the type. So at the moment, it's you can either have it, it's disabled, it's not sticky, but if you want it sticky, you can have it sticky. So that means that it will be there all the time when you scroll. So let's do that one. No hiding sticky. You see now it sits there when you scroll if you want that. You've got different variations. You can center the menu. It's probably not going to show because we've if I could just hide that. There you go. It's center sort of. I like it on the side personally. In the Pro version, you've got different light and dark variations that you can use. And then you've got background colors and borders and shadows. And if you want to put the social icons, hey, why not? There we go. Just my lovely little YouTube link. Okay, so here's the logo. So that's to do with header variants, which I believe is a Pro version thing. So you're going to need two different types of logo. And if you haven't got a logo, by the way, you can just switch it to text. And then it will just use the name of the site. Make a WordPress website. I prefer an image, but you know, if you haven't got one, that might be useful for you. So yeah, you do need two variations of your logo. You need a high-res one, which is for your Retina, iPad, iPhone screens, and then just your usual one. I often think that around 200 pixels wide for your usual standard size, so that'd be 400 pixels wide for your high-res one, is probably about right. Well, in fact, look, it's got 200 pixels there. So let's upload the high-res one first. I should have them to hand. I prepared them earlier. There we go. So that's 400. That's the high-res one. There it is. And then let's put the low-res one. This is a high-res screen that I'm working on right now, so that's why that one showed. There we go, a bit bigger. So you can change the opacity. So it's got a nice little transparency effect going on there when you hover. You can adjust that here, and adjust padding and all that kind of stuff. There. So here's the main menu. We want that enabled. You can have some hover effects. I don't know what Ferdinand is. Let's have a look. I'm going to have to hide the controls to make the menu pop up. Oh yes, that little thing. That's cool with the line that slides across. Yeah, we'll like that. We'll leave that. Then you've got some mobile menu settings and adjust the font size and weights and separated colors and all sorts of things. I'm not going to go through every single one because this video would be very long. You got the sticky override thing there if you're using the sticky header. You got the tools icons, which I think are these, like the hourglass. They've got that blue color there when you hover, but you can obviously change that. You might want it to be, I don't know, a nice red. Yeah, see, that's changed. Very nice. But you can turn search off if you don't want it. Text button, text. Let's see what that does. Hello. Ah, adds a nice little button. That's pretty cool. Let's add something. Watch. Add a button that links to this video that you're watching right now. That's a bit long. Let's make it a bit shorter. And you'd add a link here, so I don't currently know the link to the video you're watching right now because I'm recording it, but I'll add it later. And then you'd want to, change the colours probably, because you can't really read that. No, maybe make the background colour something, I don't know, nice green colour. Like that. Border colour. I don't actually want a border, so just get rid of that. Make it completely transparent. That's one way to get rid of it. And there we go. So actually, if you actually want to change the font colour, you have to change the icon's colour. Which is a bit of a pain actually, because I want it to be white and that would make those disappear. So I'll leave it as it is for now. So that's the header settings. Blog settings we've done before when we were setting up the blog. WooCommerce we're not running, so I'm not going to worry about that right now. We've got the page settings, so it's all pretty much similar stuff to what you've seen. So you can turn comments on and off. You can hide the content under the header. You can decide the layout, so whether you want to have a left fixed width or a full width and that kind of stuff. And you can add a background, and you can add a sidebar, which I'm not going to do because I don't like sidebars really. Then you've got the title bar settings, which again very similar to the blog ones. This will apply to all of the pages, but generally we use that Elementor template which doesn't have the header, so that doesn't really matter. You can change the 404 page, but you need the Pro theme to do that. You can adjust the password protected page template as well. In here you've got the work settings and the album settings. Now I've not set up a works or albums page, but it's very straightforward. If you want to do that, you just simply add some works. And so it's good for, if you've got a portfolio, that kind of thing. You can adjust all the settings in there. Custom CSS we're not going to worry about today. Custom sidebars I'm not going to do today. I will cover all this stuff in future videos. Under miscellaneous you've got some little tweaks you can do to the address bar or custom post types. Here's a site identity, so that's the site title that we set when we installed WordPress. Change the tagline. It doesn't often show, but it can appear sometimes in search engines. Next we've got the site icon, so that's the little favicon that appears in the browser. So let me see if I've got one on my computer that I can use. I'm just going to do a search. I don't have one to hand. Well, we've got one there for the Bow Wow Tech. Yeah, we'll go with that. To give you the idea. Probably should have gone for my eagle, but we'll go with that. So this is going to appear up in the top of the browser and also on smartphones if people add your website as an app. I don't know if anyone actually does that though. Oh, there we go, look, it's changed up there. Oh, the dog looks good. Next is widgets. We're not really using any widgets. They go into the sidebars and say check out future videos on doing sidebars, that kind of stuff. Here we go, we've got the homepage settings, which we've already done, so not going to need to worry about that. And then it's just additional CSS, which we're not going to be using, which is the same actually as custom CSS. There's two spots for that. So that's it. When we're all done, click publish. And we can close this and go and take a look at the site. There's our logo. There's our button. And there's our homepage, still looking good. So there's just two more things that I'm going to show you in this video. As I mentioned, I'm going to be creating lots more additional videos around this site. Show you how to do lots of other cool stuff. So be sure to subscribe if you haven't done so already, so you don't miss out on those videos. But yeah, the last two things we're going to do. The first is we're going to make the site secure by using our free SSL certificate that came with HostGator. Having your SSL up and running is a good thing. Search engines like secure sites, as do web browsers like Chrome. So yeah, definitely worth doing. And then the final thing is we'll set up Google Analytics so we can see how much traffic we're getting to our website. So they're quick and easy things to do. But yeah, well done. You're doing really well. You've got really far in the video. Not a lot of people get this far. when I look at my watch time and stuff. A lot of people don't make it this far in the longer videos, so well done, you're doing really well. We're nearly at the end of the video. I hope your website's looking good. So yeah, let's get that SSL up and running. Okay, so what we're going to do now is make the site secure, make it run over an SSL connection. This is a good thing to do. It's good for search engines, they like a secure site, and it's good for visitors in general. They just feel nice and safe when they're visiting an SSL secured site. Now, HostGator will have installed an SSL certificate for you when you signed up for the hosting. So the first thing we need to do is just double check that that is working correctly before we make any changes to the site. Otherwise we could end up breaking the site. So to double check that you've got an SSL certificate, just go to your dashboard and then come up to the URL and just type in https:// like that. Press enter. It may ask you to log in again, in which case log in again, that's fine. And then just check that you've got this green padlock and this green HTTPS. If you've got that, that means that it's all working fine, and we can now switch the site over to use that. So to do that, we're going to go into settings and general. Then here where we've got the URL, just going to add an S there to the end. Make sure you get this right. If you put the wrong thing in here, you can break your site. And save changes. So yeah, just adding the S there after the HTTP. So now if we visit the site, it's showing that it's secure. Now sometimes you get an issue with images loading over an insecure connection. So let's just check these other pages. Okay, so here's an example. The home page was fine there, funny enough, but this one's not. So if you get it so that it's kind of grey like that, it's not green, it means that there's some elements that are loading over an insecure connection. We can see what they are if we go up to the browser toolbar, go to developer and JavaScript console. Okay, so it's showing that this Vacation 4 image and this one Tim Gown image is loading over an insecure connection. So the best way to fix that is to edit the page with Elementor. Going forward, you should be fine adding content. It's just because we added these pages first before we added the SSL, which maybe in hindsight I should have done the SSL first, but hey, it's a bit late now. In the next video will be better. So just find the image, go to, so it's just going to be this background image here. I'm going to go to edit section, style. There's the image. Then all you need to do is basically just find it again and select it again. So it's that one. Do that. Then we've got this one here. Right click, edit section, style. There's that one. Let's delete and add. There it is. Insert. These are all fine, these images. It's just those background images. So that's all done. Let's take a look at the preview. Seems to be okay now. So the home page was okay, nice and green. The about us, it's green. FAQ, I don't think we've got any images on there, have we? Green. The blog not so much. It could be this header image. Let's have a look. So again, view, developer, JavaScript console. Yeah, it's the dog one. So I think edit page. Oh, no, actually, because it's the blog page, we need to go into here, don't we? Customize blog settings. And then into here, blog settings, title bar, and then just add this image again. There it is. I think what I'll do is I will make a note and I'll mention at the beginning of the video, because I haven't recorded the intro yet, funnily enough. I'll mention that maybe people want to set up their SSL first and that'll get around this problem. But if you didn't, then this is how you fix insecure content problems. So let's check the blog now. That's nice and green. And contact us. That's all good because it doesn't have an image. So that's the SSL. That's all set up. So the final thing we're going to do is set up Google Analytics. So on to the last part of this video. Okay, so I'm over at analytics.google.com. You want to head over there and log in with your Google account if you already have one. If you don't, you're going to need to set one up. So for those of you that don't know, Google Analytics is a free analytics package. Allows you to track exactly what's going on your website, how many visitors you get, how long they spend on the site, what pages they look at, a whole load of data which helps you make some informed marketing decisions. So yeah, it's a good thing to have, and it's free. So I'm on the new account page, which is what you should see once you've signed in. And with an account, you can have multiple websites. So you might just want to give it your business name or your name or whatever. I'm going to call it demo sites. I've not done this before, but I should probably have an account for all my example sites. So that sounds good. Then you enter the name of the particular website that you're adding, which is, for me, make a WP website. Then enter the URL, and hopefully you've set up your SSL now, so you want to select HTTPS. And then maybe just paste the URL in if you can't be bothered to type like me, like that. Select an industry category, or I don't know. What do you think? Internet? Don't think that really matters. You can decide if you want to tick any of these boxes or untick them. Then just click Get Tracking ID, and then you need to tick this box because it's GDPR stuff, and tick this box and then click I accept. Then you're all done. And you get this tracking ID and you get this bit of code, but we don't actually need any of that because we're going to use the plugin that we left installed from earlier. So I'm going to go back to the site. Oh, not in here. I'm going to go back to the dashboard. And then I'm going to go into Insights, which is down here, and Settings. Then I'm going to click Authenticate with your Google account. Choose my Google account, which is that one. Click Allow. Choose the correct website. So make, there we go, WP website. Complete authentication. And that's it. We're all done. So that's Google Analytics all set up, and it will start tracking everything. Now you can actually test it out if you log out of the site, because it doesn't actually track you when you're logged in, because that would skew all the figures. So log out of your site. And then if you come to Analytics and go to the home, you can see that there is one active user right now. And if I click onto another page, like the About Us, this should change. There we go, yeah. Shows me that there is one user on the About Us, which is me. So that means our Google Analytics is all up and running, and you made it to the end of the video. Well done. Hope you got a nice website. Well done. You made it to the end of the video. I can tell you not many people get this far. Very few, in fact, because, you know, it's a long video and it's a lot of work. I hope you've got a website that's looking good and you're happy with. As I've said a few times, I'm here to help. So if you've got any questions or you just want to say something, then leave it in the comments below and I'll do my best to reply to as many as I possibly can. So now you've got your website set up, you're going to probably want to do some other cool stuff to it. And I've got some videos in the pipeline that are being published every single week on how you can do that. So yeah, be sure to look through the channel. And I'm going to be creating some very specific videos around this particular site that we created today. On how to do some SEO, how to use some of the extra features that are built into the theme. I'm going to explore the pro version of the theme as well and see if that's worth it. And yeah, just tons of stuff to do with the site that you've just made. So you're not going to want to miss them. So if you haven't subscribed, then now is a good time. Click that button, that red button that's down there. Well, I think that's about it. I don't have much more to say. It's been a long enough video as it is. I'm sure you're exhausted after creating an amazing website. I'd love to see you on one of my live streams. I tend to do them every Wednesday at 8 PM UK time. It'd be good to see you on there. And yeah, you can ask me questions and we have a chat about WordPress and all sorts of things. It's fun. If you'd like to share your site, you know, show it off to the world, leave it in the comments, that's fine, or you can email it to me if you like at eagle@wpeagle.com, and I'll take a look and give you my opinion. Anyway, I'm going to go right now. You can click on the eagle there if you want to subscribe. Here is another video. It's chosen specially for you, so I hope you enjoy it. You don't have to watch it right now. I'm sure you've probably had enough of my videos for one day. And if you fancy even more of my videos, then somewhere around here there'll be a picture of my face. That's my other channel. It's a vlog channel. It's about all sorts of things. Go and check it out. But until next time, bye for now.